Are you tired of situational, helpful advice of which lifestyle to pick when? Do you wish someone would just tell you which ones are the best, always, no matter what, with no nuance involved? Well, I got you covered. Hey gamers and goblins, my name's Cara, and today we're doing the ultimate lifestyle tier list in CK3. In this video, we're gonna not only rank every lifestyle by objective fact, but we're also gonna rank every perk tree and its lifestyle trait as well. So you'll fully know which ones are the best to get, no matter what. This is my tier list. Graphic design is my passion by Cara, age 24. Do not copyright infringe. I have this copyrighted. No, I don't. I'm lying. I guess the way that I'll do it is I'll rank the trees first, and then I'll go into the whole overall lifestyle. We're gonna start off with learning. Learning is definitely one of my favorite lifestyles. Let's start with whole of body. Whole of body is pretty good. It's convenient if you have a good character, if you want them to live longer. You basically get a ton of health boosts. If you're below a certain threshold of health, you have like a limited amount of time to live no matter what. And you have a random % chance every year of losing a certain amount of health just based on aging. So if you get a medium boost for health and another one up here, then you can pretty reasonably push out your character's lifespan by like 15, 20 more years usually. It makes physicians better, gives you less stress. You know when your character's gonna die so that you can plan your succession. You even get +5 plague resistance, which is a nice perk. It's pretty good overall. The only thing is it doesn't really increase any of your stats. It's especially good if your character's already good. It doesn't make them any better, if that makes sense. So if you have like a mid character, maybe you want them to die quicker. Like I don't know. For Scholar, I'm going to go S tier, believe it or not. Why does Scholar get S tier? Gives you cultural fascination progress, letting you unlock cultural innovations, gives you more cultural opinion gain, gives you more development growth, gives you more learning level if you have a lot of piety, lets you convert fates for 75% cheaper. Like, it's basically the only way that Hellenism converting to it is ever possible. It gives you 20% of your counselor's primary skills, so if you have really good counselors, you can get equally good. And then you can also buy claims, so it's just like a super stacked perk tree. And then Scholar itself also gives you more development. It gives you hostile scheme success chance and personal scheme success chance. It gives you +5 learning, which is crazy. It's like the most stacked one in the game. I think it goes S tier. And then Theologian. I don't think Theologian's as good as the other two. I think Theologian's mostly good if you're a high piety character. It basically lets you convert counties faster, makes the Pope and priest like you more, gives you better level of devotion impact, gives you more monthly piety, some more learning. The main reason why you get it is for profit. It makes it 50% cheaper to reform a religion, which is like the only thing that makes it actually truly good. Like mostly because of that, I am going to put it in B tier. B tier. So then yeah, overall for learning, I think I gotta give it an S tier. I am a little bit biased because I got to be Matilda in that one tutorial, but I think it definitely deserves S tier. Let me just mess that up a little bit. Oh gosh. Next up we got Intrigue. Oh, the spooky one. This might be the one that people disagreed with me on the most when I last put out my tier list, but I think you'll see why I ended up putting it as low as I did. Let's start with Schemer. Overall, I just think plots are like way too easy to fail, even if you're great at intrigue. A schemer makes you a lot more powerful when you do your schemes. Get murder scheme power, hostile scheme success chance. You can abduct people. You can find secrets way easier. You can fabricate hooks on people, so you can basically get anyone to do anything. If you fabricate hooks on the Pope, you could get like empire claims and things like that. And then the schemer trait overall is pretty good too. You get more hostile scheme power, and you even get to do an extra max hostile scheme at the same time. It makes you really good at the intrigue game, and it's a lot of fun. I think it would easily be S tier if it had a perk that was like, you'll never fail a 95% successful plot. Like that's the reason why I can't rate anything in intrigue higher. It just feels like gambling to me. As it currently is, I think it's A tier. Pretty good if you're willing to do the risk. Next up, we got Seductress or Seducer. I don't really like Seducer at all. Like, besides for the memes, seducing people doesn't actually help you do as much as you think. And you don't actually need to go down seducer to get good at seducing people regardless. I think the only useful time you'd spend the time to get extra seducer buffs, maybe if you're a woman leading a mostly male-led realm for the extra attraction opinion, and then you can seduce all of your top-level vassals to make them like you more. I don't know, something like that. But all of the seduction events, too, are so annoying and spammy. It's just like super micro-y. I've never really liked it that much. Seduction plots can fail for random reasons. One of the perks is that they don't fail. Yeah, you can no longer critically fail. I still don't think it's all that worth it, to be honest. Like, ooh, you can have sex with a lot of people. I don't know if people are going to be mad at me for this, but I think I'm putting it in F. I really don't think it's that useful. Like, it helps you lore-wise, maybe, but gameplay-wise, no. And then finally we got Torture. I think Torture just straight up goes D tier. I will explain my logic. I don't really like Torture at all either. It's not like Torture is terrible. If you really like torturing someone, you can gain up to 5 Intrigue or 5 Prowess, which like 5 Intrigue or 5 Prowess on their own is good. I don't know if that really does all that much. It can help a little bit, I guess. You get more Dread. You get more martial, intrigue, and prowess per stress level, but like, why would you ever want your character to be at a high level of stress? I don't think it's worth it for the bad traits that you get, and I don't think it's worth it for your character. You never want to actually have like a high level of stress. These perks are pretty nice, but again, you need to go all the way down the torture tree to get them. Dread gain per tyranny, but like, are you really gonna play the high tyranny game? I guess if you're a torturer, you gotta. Dread decay minus 1,000, so you basically never run out of dread. Imprison chance plus 50%, plus 10% levy size is nice. The prowess is nice. I still don't think it's that good. You gotta torture a lot of people. Even if you can torture people for free, a lot of characters end up hating it and just being stressed by it. So it's a very specific type of memey build, I think. It's mostly just like for fun and for roleplay, like the Seductress one. I think the Murder Feast is kind of fun though. I still think it's a D tier. Yeah, not that good. So yeah, overall Intrigue, I still think it goes D tier, despite all of that. Like Schemer is pretty good, Seductress and Torture just kind of worthless, in my opinion. I think Intrigue just goes down here, just straight up. I think it does. Too much gambling. Alright, so I do actually like Stewardship a fair amount. We're going to start with Avaricious. Avaricious, I think, is really good. You get extra money by demanding payment for hooks, and you can also extort subjects for some extra money. If I make a character go into Stewardship, that's how I get most of my income. Vassal taxes are nice, monthly income while at war, monthly income per stress level. I don't really like the stress level ones, to be honest. Men-at-arms maintenance per dread is actually really good, especially if you have a huge men-at-arms army, like I do most of the time. Vassal tax contribution is cool, I guess. I don't really use the sell titles decision, honestly. I'm always worried that it's going to sell one of my counties or something, you know? But then yeah, you get +2 stewardship and plus 15% holding taxes. I think it's pretty good. Maybe not like the best ever perk tree, but I think Avaricious at least deserves like A tier. It's like, do I pick it pretty often? Like, yeah, I do. I think it goes A tier for that. You could just make so much money with it. It's so good. All right, then you got Architect. Now, Architect is kind of pretty good. I honestly didn't realize how good it was until I really looked at it. It makes buildings cheaper to build. It makes them build faster. It gives you free development growth in your capital. Gives you fort level and garrison size, which I guess is nice, but purchasing truces can also be really good. Levy reinforcement, popular opinion can be really helpful if you're expanding your territory. +2 domain limit is underratedly good. And then Architect itself gives you +2 stewardship, prestige, and then an even further reduction in building time and building cost. So for building tall, I think it's like S tier. I think if you're playing a game where you're not building tall, it might more be like an A tier or a B tier. But I do like building tall in CK3, and I plan on doing it more, so I'm going to put it in S tier. I think it deserves to be up there. And then we got Administrator. I think Administrator is more like a B tier sort of thing. I think it's that great generally. The reason why I think it deserves B tier is because of this one perk over here. You can use claim throne scheme against your liege, so that way you can like swear fealty to the HRE and then claim their throne and then take it over. I've done that more times than I can count. It's pretty fun. And then the rest of these are like fine. Like vassal levy contribution's pretty good. Tyranny and toe the line and positions of power, they're perfectly fine. The extra levy and tax contribution is pretty nice too. And then the administrator trait, you get +1 diplomacy, +3 stewardship, and +10 plague resistance. Like that's hella plague resistance for free, basically. Administrator is pretty good. I think it goes B tier. It's not like upper tier, but it's like decent tier, you know, administrator. So I think overall stewardship, I think it still deserves A tier. I think it does. A stewardship A tier. All right, now we're on to marshal. I think the thing overall with marshal is that it's better for certain play styles in certain situations. It's a very situational lifestyle. Like every lifestyle has its pros and cons. I just think Marshall's very situational. Starting with strategist. Strategist is great. I think it's great if you're tribal or if you really need to be a commander for whatever reason. Like maybe if you have a smaller realm or something like that, you can seriously fuck up some people with organized march. You move way faster. Sappers makes more of your weapons actual siege weapons. So I think it's great if you're tribal because you're probably not going to have siege weapons. So you get extra siege perks even without siege weapons. Living off the land is great for raiders. Another thing that's great for tribal characters especially. The strategist is a great trait. It's just for a specific playstyle. Because if you're a larger realm, you can just find someone with the strategist trait to be one of your commanders and still get most of these perks. It's a fantastic lifestyle trait, but again, like if you're a larger kingdom, you can just find someone with strategists and bring them to your court. So I'm gonna put it in B tier. Next up, we got overseer. I don't really like overseer at all. I don't like the big spooky eye, for one. The big spooky eye scares me. Most of the reason why I don't really like it is because it's just sort of random. Like, it gives you some extra dread, some extra control. It's mostly for role-playing, like, oh, I'm a strict authoritarian, blah, blah, blah. Army gold maintenance, minus 15%, I guess is nice. Mercenary higher cost, absolute control. It gives you some additional bonuses to taxes and levies. Dread gain, plus 20%. Yeah, it just gives you a lot of control. And some plague resistance and stewardship. I don't really like it that much. Like, having control is really useful. If you lack control, then you're missing out on a lot. But like for most times, most playstyles, I don't think it's all that useful. I'm gonna put it down in D tier. Ooh. Gallant. This is the one you get if you want to be like a LARPy knight. There are some good things about Gallant, I think. You get +4 prowess, that makes it less likely for you to die if you're commanding armies, which is already really good. And you can challenge rivals all with this one single perk, which is this one perk elevates it a lot. Can be useful, I don't think it's all that useful. Can it help you marry more people and get better alliances? Yeah, but only like marginally so. I think knight effectiveness and getting more knights is the thing that makes it good too. Peace acceptance plus 10%. This has never made a difference for me, just to be honest. And then overall you get +2 martial, +4 prowess. I think it's better for like role-playing reasons than it actually is in the game. For me, it's like a solid C. Like it's pretty good, it gives you some good perks, but like I don't really ever pick it that often. And it's the same sort of thing with martial in general, which is like I can just find a character who's a commander instead of doing it myself. So then overall for martial, I think that pretty safely puts it in C tier for me. Like, it's definitely not bad. It's not my go-to, you know, it's not like alerting or it's not like stewardship. It's like a runner-up for me to those two. Can be useful in a lot of ways, can be pretty good and fun, mostly for tribal characters or for smaller kingdoms or whatever. D tier. And now we're at the final one for diplomacy. Bum, 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 bum. Now, since last time I made this tier list, I have changed my mind on diplomacy a fair bit. I think diplomacy deserves to be higher than where I put it last time. Like in CK3, I don't think any of the lifestyles are bad. Because like obviously they want them to be balanced, right? I don't think there's any like F tier lifestyles really. So starting with diplomat. Diplomat's pretty decent. Diplomat gives you some extra CBs like Ducal Conquest and Forced Vassalage. It lets you vassalize entire other characters under a certain size. Yeah, Forced Vassalage is good in theory. Past a certain size, it doesn't really help all that much. Proposing an extra alliance without a marriage can be like a savior, especially if you're in danger. Yeah, it's not bad. You can buy artifacts, you can fabricate claims and counties. Randomly, you can do the Bloody Grand Wedding. I'm not too sure why this is in here and not in Schemer or something. Yeah, it's alright. I don't think it's really that worth it. It's probably C tier. Yeah, next up we got August. I think August, it's not that great. Basically it just gives you more prestige. And it gives you some sway scheme power. The most helpful part of it is offer vassalization acceptance. So like some people are saying if you go down the August skill tree, sometimes you can just offer vassalization if you're like a kingdom or an empire and get a bunch of people to join. So that's like the only perk of here that's like seriously good. Yeah, the rest of this is just kind of like not all that useful. Like this monthly prestige, you can commission an epic. I don't really care. Like that one perk is the thing that's making it not an F for me. It's not that good. I'm putting it in D tier. Sorry. It's like between a D and a C, but like again, all because of that one perk. And then yeah, the last one that we have to cover is matriarch. So patriarch if you're a guy. I think honestly, family hierarch is one of the worst ones. Like if your family doesn't already like you and they're your rivals or whatever, this is not gonna help. You get some opinion bonus with them, but like it's not gonna help enough to make a difference. Each friend gives you 2 random skill points. You can befriend people. Like it makes your family like you more, but if they already hate you, it's not gonna do all that much. If they already like you, what's the point? All it gives you is fertility gain and stress loss and family opinion. I don't really think it's all that useful. Friends are nice, but not like the most important thing if you're a medieval ruler. IMHO. So I think matriarch goes down here in F tier, or patriarch. I really don't think it's that useful. So overall, I am moving diplomacy up. Instead of it being an F tier, I think it belongs in D tier, along with Intrigue. I mean, I told you it was higher this time, because I put it in F tier before. I think it's more D tier. Now, realistically, every lifestyle and every perk tree is better for some situations than for others. It's not like I would never pick diplomacy or intrigue depending on what I'm trying to do. I just also don't think they're as universally useful as stewardship or as learning. So yeah, that's my entire CK3 lifestyle ultimate tier list guide. I hope that makes it clear which ones you should always, no matter what, pick. I'm kidding, obviously. Pick whichever ones you want. But that's what I think. So yeah, that's where I'm gonna leave this video. Thank you for watching. Thank you to the channel members too for supporting this channel. And bye. Adios.